Hello everybody, I hope you're all well today. Today is the 27th of March 2021 and something happened this morning. I was in a prayer meeting I'm in England now, but the prayer meeting was in South Africa. And I was in a prayer meeting and one of the ladies was just sharing and saying about Matthew 14, about getting out of the boat and walking on water, as Peter got out of the boat and walked on water and being in our comfort zone. And it was just so amazing how the Lord was just reminding me today. I'd been here, I arrived here 3 years ago, and I didn't know what lay ahead. And if I go back to 2017, in the November, I was just a really good place. I've been seeking the Lord a lot, and I was in a very comfortable place. I loved my work, and everything was just going great, but nothing seemed to be happening. And in the December, it was the first time in years that I'd actually had 2 weeks where I didn't see anybody. It was amazing. I just went to gym, I got up, I chilled, spent time with the Lord, walked. It was the most amazing 2 weeks I had off work. And it really was a time where normally it was always full, busy every day, in and out. And in the January, when we went back to work, something happened and we were just talking. And I applied for this position overseas. And I went to my boss. I said, "Listen, this is a situation. I've applied for this position. I don't know if I'll get it." Anyway, we just talked and shared about what was going on. Because Deb, I don't want you to go, but if it's meant for you and if it's from God and He opens the door, then you have to go. I accept that. So we didn't know. We both didn't know that time. Anyway, they'd sent me a thing to say I've been selected to have an interview, and on the 12th of February, the Lord gave me this word: get out of the boat and walk on water, in Matthew 14. Then in Bible college, which I just previously started again that January from doing it, I think 7 years before, I just started doing it again. He gave the Rhema word to me about Peter got out of the boat and walked on water, but the other disciples were all in the boat. They didn't get the Rhema word, but Peter did, and he got out of the boat. Anyway, I got that Rhema word and I said to Pastor Marianne, wow, this is just what I got last night. Then on the Thursday, the 14th, they phoned me to say I'd been offered the position. I had the interview on the 13th as well, and they phoned me on the 14th to say I'd been offered the position. I just had to wait for my police clearance. So from then I thought, oh great, this is all going to happen now. I've got to sell my car, I've got to sort everything out, and obviously got to finish at work. So I told my boss, and 2 weeks later, nothing seemed to be happening. My car wasn't being sold and things weren't happening in the way that I thought they should be. Anyway, to cut a very long story short, when it wasn't happening the way I thought it'd be, I said, Lord, I really need to hear from you today. And it was on the 25th of February. I said, today I need to know if this is from you. I'm gonna go. If it's not from you, I don't want to go. I need to know today, because I don't want it to be a Debbie thing. I believe I've heard from you. You gave me that Rhema word. I believe everything's from you, but I need to know if it's from you. And I just want to read out of Matthew 14, and how Jesus, Matthew 14 verse 22. Immediately Jesus made the disciples get out the boat and go ahead of him and go to the other side, while he dismissed the crowd. After he had dismissed them, he went up to the mountainside by himself to pray. Later that night he was there alone, and the boat was already considerably a distance from land, buffeting by the waves, because the wind was against it. Shortly before the dawn, Jesus went out to them, walking on the lake. When the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified. It's a ghost, they said, and they cried out in fear. But Jesus immediately said to them, take courage, it is I, don't be afraid. Lord, if it is you, Peter replied, tell me to come out on the water. Come, he said. Then Peter got down out of the boat, walked on the water, and came towards Jesus. And when he saw the wind, he was afraid and began to sink, cried out, Lord, save me. Immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. You of little faith, he said, why did you doubt? And when they climbed into the boat, the wind died down. Then those who were in the boat worshipped him, saying, truly, you are the Son of God. This is it. Jesus, he went to pray at night. There was a wind the night before. Jesus didn't go to them straight away. So sometimes we have challenges and circumstances and things don't always happen. But then he came to Peter and says, get out. So he's telling me, come out. And then all of a sudden it's not going my way. So I'm, Lord, if this is really from you, I need to know. I need to know and hear clearly from you today if it's from you, if it is or if it's not. And I need to hear from you. So I went to a different church service and I saw nobody there. I knew I was in the middle. Normally I like to sit on the end. And the whole service was about Matthew 14, get out the boat and walk on water. I've still got the sermon on my phone. I couldn't believe it was not just for me. And from that day forward, everything started falling into place. I got my police clearance, everything, the car was sold, everything just fell into place. And I left Johannesburg on the 14th of March, not knowing what lay ahead of me. I thought maybe 6 months. I'd already arranged to go back to South Africa, not knowing how long I would be away for. I thought it was going to be 6 months. Then I didn't know they would offer me a full-time position here. I'm saying, Lord, but I don't know if this is from you. And every time there was waves and there was challenges and circumstances that didn't go my way, the Lord, oh, you know what, this doesn't feel like a Debbie thing. This isn't something I want. God showed me it was from him. I kept my eyes to the hills where my help comes from. My help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. So I just want to encourage someone today. I can look back now 3 years down the line and I can see what God has done. I can see what he's done, how he's allowed me to help people, how he's molded me. Where in South Africa I was a Mary, and for years I was a Martha. For years I was trying to be a Mary. God told me about 10 years ago, he sent a lady at a conference and she said, Martha, Martha, my eyes are always upon you. I thought, okay, Jesus loved Mary and he loved Martha. But Martha was always busy doing stuff. I was picking the kids up from the orphanage, I was in the worship team, I was in the hostess, in the intercessory prayer, anything, going feeding on the streets. I wanted to be out in there. If there was anything on, I just wanted to be. But Jesus was telling to be a Mary. And when I started to be a Mary, by coming here, that I was really a Mary because I couldn't go out. When I came here, I felt like, and everybody will know how this feels now because they've all felt the same, I felt like it did when we went into lockdown. And so when we went into lockdown, it wasn't such a shock to me and it wasn't so bad because I'd already been doing that for 2 years, nearly 2 years at that time. I'd been doing that. I'd been felt like I was in lockdown and I was on my own. So I know how everybody felt because I felt like that's how I felt when I first came here. And I had a few friends. I'm like, Lord, is this really from you? You know, this wasn't like comfortable. This is more comfort. You know, this is what I want. This is so great in South Africa. I could do this and I was doing this and I could do this. But God sent me here for a plan and a purpose and I sought him and I trusted him. And even now today I said, Lord, if it's from you, I'll trust you. And then he was saying to Peter, you of little faith, he said, why did you doubt? So he's just not doubting that God is got in control, even though maybe the waves and the challenges are carrying on all night long. You've called out to Jesus and he hasn't heard you. Like Jesus, it was the night before and it was only in the morning. He could have gone. He knew where they were. He could have gone straight away to them, but he left them. Sometimes it's our faith that grows in those challenges and in those circumstances. And I look back and I thought, wow, Lord, what you have done, which is another testimony, what you've done in the last 3 years is amazing. With me, what I've been able to do and what I've learned, and how God says, trust me. It says in Proverbs 3 verse 5 and 6, trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not unto your own understanding, in all your ways acknowledge him and he shall direct your path. And as I've acknowledged the Lord and just asked him to guide me, he's directed my path. And he just amazes me every single day what he's done and what he's doing. And we just know that we serve a good God. So I just want to encourage somebody else today. If you're in a comfort zone or you're not sure which way, or you've been crying out to the Lord and you don't hear answers, that God is faithful. And he is saying, come, but he needs us to step out in faith in what he's asking us to do. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. And you know, every day we learn. None of us have arrived yet. Every day we're learning. But God wants to show us. He wants us to take his hand. He wants us to get out of that boat and walk out in faith, trust in him, knowing that he can do more than we could possibly imagine. And all he's asking us to do is believe. Have a wonderful afternoon, everybody. God bless.